Former reserve deputy with the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office says he was fired because of a Facebook post. In that post, he showed support for his friend who is running against Sheriff Randy Smith. Carice Jackman sat down with the man who says he wants his job back. Carice?
That's right, Tom. Steve Hoffman wrote a post saying that his friend who is running against the sheriff is the right man for the job. Well, less than 24 hours later, Hoffman was fired from the sheriff's department, one that he's held dear for several years. Going through the trunk of his St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office vehicle for what may be the last time is a tough pill to swallow for Stephen Hoffman.
Shirts I gotta turn in.
The reserve deputy served his last day Friday. Hoffman believes it was because of this Facebook post he shared, supporting his friend Nick Tranchina, who's running against Sheriff Randy Smith.
I saw his advertisement pop up for the election, saying that he was openly running for sheriff, and I said, oh well, you know, I'm gonna post some good words about him.
Hoffman made the post Thursday morning. By the afternoon, he got a call from his captain. Friday morning, he went into his office.
They basically just told me, hey, we don't want you here no more. You're fired.
In this audio recording, you can hear Hoffman asking for an explanation.
So what's the reason for dismissal?
Well, it's just the sheriff has decided that, you know, he doesn't need you here anymore.
I said, this doesn't have, or does this have anything to do with my recent Facebook activity? And he said, not necessarily.
Hoffman says he's been with the department since 2012. He's never gotten into trouble and has even gone viral with a positive Facebook video about the department. He feels the termination has everything to do with his post. He finds it alarming, especially since Hoffman claims Randy Smith issued this letter saying during his last campaign he would never fire someone because of where they stand politically.
I'm guessing he changed his mind over time.
We reached out to the sheriff's office. They told us Sheriff Smith is out of town. When we asked for a statement, they refused. Back in February, he did tell Eyewitness News where he stands when it comes to his authority.
I'm the firing authority as the sheriff. I make those decisions.
According to the Employee Conduct Manual, employees should refrain from posting anything that may discredit the agency or express prejudice concerning politics. The political activity portion only mentions prohibiting political activities while on agency time. Hoffman says he never said anything negative about the sheriff and that his words about Smith's opponent were encouraging and nice. Natalie?
Carice, thank you.